Peace, this is MC WhiteOwl, the one and only MC WhiteOwl. You're rocking with the Lou Capetta Show. I'm on. Stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
Nobody knows. Nobody cares. They just don't seem to understand. But it's time they found out.
When I was younger, mama used to tell me go with the flow. And I never could tell which way the flow go. No more than I know, it ain't about the dough. Got the horses in the chariot, you couldn't swing low. And yo, no matter how hard we perform, there'll always be a hater to waste your words on. When the garments get torn, tossed across the lawn, the grass is always greener, my demeanor's word born. This is word porn, for children of the corn. Happy wife, happy life, rock to the first morn. On my second ill behavior, my daughter's name is Ava. Right across the farm, I had the bomb from my neighbor. The owl, I'm a savior. You preach it to the choir. The stone got the bevel. The devil is a liar. Me, I'm not a buyer. The product don't expire. There's lightning in a bottle. A real live wire. If they knew what I know, it'd be a different situation. I breeze through the trees, spread cosmic information. Locked to the station, we've been scanning for ages. Preaching from the text, it's the wisdom of the sages. Stages to a puzzle that's constantly in motion. A beautiful angel send the love across the ocean. Fluid with the motion. My noodle for the rhyming. The audio, visual, a digital shaman. This is kismet, that's destiny, fate. Better once than never, regardless of late. Searching for the answers to the age-old question. Reading, writing, believing I should mention we are not experiencing things on the same plane. Speaking into existence, extolling the name. Playing with the flame, you gon' catch that stick. Like trying to stop her from leaving cause she came too quick. The brightest shine and the most beautiful eyes.
Namaste.
Praying that your soul recognize I'm a DJ and I'm an MC too. Cause that's the type of ish that hip-hop do. B-boy for the crew, carry the cases. When I got up to the plate, I went 4 extra bases. Seen a lot of faces, city to city. Stacks the packs of the wax, techniques getting busy. If they knew what I know, it'd be a different situation. I breeze through the trees, spread cosmic information. Locked to the station, we've been scanning for ages. Preaching from the text, it's the wisdom of the sages. Stages to a puzzle that's constantly in motion. A beautiful angel send the love across the ocean. Fluid with the motion, my noodle for the rhyming. The audio, visual, a digital shaman.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome once again. We're in season 2 of the Lou Capetta Show. I'm your host, Lou Capetta, and I have a guest this episode, very special guest. I'm going to try not to sound too much like a fanboy because I am a fan. If you listen to this show, you know that I love hip-hop music. I grew up on it. I attempted to rhyme for a little while years ago. We won't talk about that, though. And, yeah, my guest is laughing. And I love hip-hop music. Not the crap that my kids listen to, but old school classic New York City hip-hop music. And my guest today, I was put on to by Jeff Pearlman. He is putting out old school classic boom bap New York City hip hop music. He is the one and only MC WhiteOwl. What's up, man?
Beautiful to be here, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, man. I'm not. I'm telling you, man. I truly I've become a fan of your work. I appreciate your. I don't want to necessarily say old school sound because. Not for any other reason than that makes me feel old, but that classic New York City sound, which you don't hear a lot in hip hop music coming out of New York really anymore. So is that something you consciously go after? Was that just always your style that you adhered to? That style you came up with, obviously?
That is my style. I appreciate you noticing it, but I believe, honestly, there's a lot of good hip-hop coming out right now. The problem is very hard to find it. And, most of it exists in the same little vacuum. A lot of the guys are doing the same exact kind of path as me. So I'm a fan first, and I've been a fan since the mid-late 80s, and I've been a DJ since 89 and an MC since 90. And I worked at a bunch of record labels, had a major, label record deal in 2001. But there's a lot of guys making good hip hop, and I know why you think of it the way you do. But my thing's a combination of two things. Number one, it's the beats are sample based, so
Yes.
you're hearing that boom bap sample based sound. But also the lyrics are pretty much it is what it is. It's that type of hip hop. It's supposed to be clear. You're supposed to understand it. A lot of similes and
It's
metaphors.
on point.
Yeah, it's wordplay, but it is being done though. I mean, that would be real dumb and very ignorant and greedy of me to say, oh, I'm doing that and that. It's everywhere. It's just it doesn't get any focus on the radio because that's not serving radio's purpose right now.
Right. It's not what the kids are listening to.
Not at all. And thank God, for me, the people that I always like to shout out are Sirius XM, Shade 45, Pop Nation. Those are the stations that play me. When I get played radio, it's on XM radio. So,
right, I saw that in your press kit that you've been on Sirius XM a couple times,
a bunch of times, and they support very strong. The DJs have their own agendas, and trying to fit into those agendas sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. That's not really the purpose. For me as an old school hip hop fan, as a DJ, it's more about just continue to release music. I'm a certain age that I know at some point when my kids are grown, I'll hit the road, and then that's how you support yourself. I'm also a producer, I'm a DJ, so there's different reasons why, it is what it is, this path, and why it sounds the way it does, but I appreciate it.
So you made a couple of interesting references there as far as years go. So I'm assuming that puts us relatively the same age. 80. My introduction to hip hop was 88 with Big Daddy Kane.
That's
so
great.
yeah. So I mean, I'm a huge Kane guy. I always have been. But 88, 89, and it's been ever since then, man. I fell in love with it. So I appreciate the sound. I know, like you said, it's not on the radio as much, but I do hear it. I mean, it's hard. Like I was telling you before, I'm originally from Jersey. I live out in PA now, so I mean and I live in white PA. Like the town I live in is Nazareth. Like it don't get less hip hop than that. Yeah. So yeah, it is hard to find. But how are you able to, I mean, you said Sirius XM, but how are you really able to get yourself out there? Because I feel in some aspects, as far as like major radio play is concerned, it might be more difficult in this current age. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but the other avenues artists have to directly reach the listener, it seems there may be more of those.
There's a lot of avenues to reach people, but of course, at the same time, people have no attention span.
Yeah,
there's so many ways to hit people, but what are you really getting at with them? And I mean, to answer your question, I guess for me, I've been doing it for so long that I'm going to be doing it anyway. I'm a part of a community that there's not that many guys that there are not that many guys that produce and make music at the level and as much as I do. Right. Those people, if they're in New York City, whatever, we basically all know each other to some degree. If I don't know them personally, but I'm a fan, maybe I'll be able to know them. Like that's the level that it's at. When I was younger, there was the people that, of course, there's the Big Daddy Kanes, the Rackems, Eric Sermon, Parrish Smith, whoever it is, Biz Marquee, Public Enemy. Those are the people you're going to try to be like. So you're gonna produce as much as you can, be around hip hop. As a DJ, for me, I DJ'd in the New York City clubs from 96 to 2006, like heavy. So just coming up in that era and with the work ethic, I have a good work ethic, and it's basically just I'm a member of multiple groups. One of them is called Sophisticated Savage, which is me, a radio host from New York, Grindhouse Funk, another MC, Yazilla, and we work out of a place called TME. Fred One's a DJ from Gorilla Grooves Radio, is the DJ at TME, but he's a very well producer. So
I know, yeah, I've heard of him. I follow him on some of the social media stuff.
Okay, cool. He's a pillar in Bronx hip hop. So, and then I'm part of a group called Certain Ones, which is a collective of 16, 17 people from around the world. We put out like one or two songs a week. And I want to shout out Bobby Craves is the head engineer, head producer of Certain Ones, and that's his group. And part of it is just constantly bombarding people, trying every avenue you can, be it writing music, sports, like the Pearlman connection that I have, sending things into TV shows. Back when I got on, I came out of Binghamton University. I graduated in 98 from upstate New York. I was on the radio. From the radio, I went to work in a recording studio from 98 to 2000. I must have sent out literally 1,000 demo tapes. And when you do that, you just start to meet people. You keep the contacts. I had a major label record deal, so my name was WhiteOwl on Warner Brothers in 2000, 2001. It was on MTV for a while. Right. And then from there, you just, it's like any other job. You need to literally, and you cannot stop. I took a break, which hurt me. But in the hip-hop game, the way things work, it actually ended up helping me, besides it hurting me, because I stopped DJing in 2006. Somebody came back out right a year later with my name.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, that was I'll tell that later in the story. But basically, just that's like more fuel for the fire. Then you're like, all right, now I'm getting older. I have a little bit of money. I have a chance to do what I want to do. How will I pursue this? And I haven't figured it out, because if I had figured it out, then I might be talking to you in a better format, or I'd be over there taking a limo, whatever it is. But I figured it out enough to know that I'm gonna figure it out.
Right.
I'm on the path.
You're well. Listen, man, you're doing your thing. You really are. Yeah. Because I was gonna ask you that, because I know, like, so the first time I spoke. So obviously you have a relationship with Jeff Pearlman. You're good friends with him, correct? Yeah,
he's my good friend. Yep.
All right. So Jeff Pearlman is so when I started this last year, and Jeff Pearlman was one of the first people I reached out to try to have on. He's my favorite writer. I'm a big Mets fan. He wrote my favorite book, and I just was like, "Oh, let me hit him up." I didn't think he was going to respond. And then I've spoken to him since. He's been on the show again. He's a really, really cool guy, and a friend of mine that I used to rhyme with back in the day. He actually is still doing music and stuff and producing and stuff like that. Is Cat in Richmond. From Jersey. He made the music for my opening, and Jeff heard it, was asking me, and then I started asking him about the music in his podcast, which is your song, one of my favorites, Croissants.
I appreciate it.
I love that. I love that.
Made the beat.
And I love that. I love that sample, man. That's the Big L sample.
Yeah, Rest in Paradise, Big L.
Yeah. So, that song is dope.
Aliens and flying saucers.
This is all an illusion. Please pardon the confusion. You made an ass out of yourself and me for assuming the flow is moving. Monumental mountains, trillions of ideas, but really who's counting? Linear landscapes, snakes with handshakes. Support the levee, but when I flow, the damn brakes. Slam on these damn brakes, over these haze takes. Yo, flake like croissant savants with the land stakes. Over that clam bake plane, that upper crustacean. Don't try to fuck with the owl, you ain't got enough information. I'm ubiquitous, conspicuous, but infinite. Limitless, flow gimmickless. Credit us, and still you trust and held them us. You ever had a moment in time when you heard that inner voice say, no matter what happened before, everything gon' be okay? I got a message from the universe, and it wanted me to relay. The fight is infinite, it's forever here to stay.
Aliens and flying saucers, iron horses. Iron horses. Aliens and flying saucers, iron horses. Iron horses. Aliens and flying saucers, iron horses. Iron horses. Aliens and flying saucers, iron horses.
And so he put me on, but I thought that I remember hearing the name a while ago, and then I noticed. Then I remember the dude from Chicago, I think he's from Chicago, right? The DJ took your name, right?
No. So there was a coincidence, and the other DJ WhiteOwl is also from New York.
Oh, okay.
It's really weird. I don't know if there's
right.
a DJ from Chicago named DJ WhiteOwl, but there's the DJ WhiteOwl that I'm thinking of is from New York, and unfortunately he passed away. He was our age, which is really crazy, man. So, and it was just a coincidence, just a total coincidence that he had the name. Basically, long story short is, as a DJ, I was DJ WhiteOwl since 1994. Right. I have the name DJ WhiteOwl at yahoo.com, and I was WhiteOwl on Warner Brothers Records. I mean, the name was really Warner Brothers at that point, but for Warner Brothers, I was WhiteOwl, not DJ WhiteOwl. So even though I would call myself DJ WhiteOwl on the album that we did, it was a major release, on TV and on the prints and stuff, it says WhiteOwl. But regardless, at some point, I stopped DJing. I never DJ WhiteOwl before. My tapes were in the stores, multiple mixtapes and stuff. And then someone said to me, like 2007, 2008, after I had children, they said, I know you're going to be at some club somewhere. And I said, nah, I'm not, it's not me. And they said to me, okay, well, look at the flyer. So there it is, DJ WhiteOwl. So for years I was mad. I kind of just didn't understand how somebody could not understand that name was taken. But, hip hop there's multiple people with the same names. It's not that big of a deal. Right. I finally met the guy later on in life. Like, literally, I met him 6 months before he passed away. And we talked. He was a nice guy. It was nice to meet him. And I'm like, it's a weird, small world that this guy is also from New York, but different type of hip hop. He was like involved in more commercial stuff. So then he passed away, which was crazy. So that was like, when that happened, that was actually, even though I didn't really know the guy, he knew people that I knew.
And like you said, he's same age.
Same age, man. Same age. I'm from Greenburgh, New York, from Westchester. I think he was from somewhere in upstate New York. Just a weird coincidence. And it made me so uneasy that it actually reminded me, like, yo, I got to keep putting stuff out now. Like, then I just hit it hard. Right. For the past 8 years, I've been releasing music, just a lot of music, and just trying to leave that legacy because you don't get any promises, right?
Yeah, man. It's crazy, like, at the age. So I don't know exactly. I know we're relatively, I don't know how old you are. I'm 40. I turned 40 this year. All right. 42. So,
born in 76.
78. And when you start, I don't know how you feel, but like it just all of a sudden hit me. Like before 40, it's kind of like somebody dies, it's usually like a tragic accident or something, or like now it's like motherfuckers are dying of heart attacks. Like it's shit that you always, like I always was like, oh yeah, that's for old people. And then it's like, it fucks you up, man. It's like, damn. You're getting old, and you gotta, you got that
perspective.
Yeah. Thank you. I couldn't think of the words. You know what? You should just run this whole podcast.
So I hear you, man. I have 2 kids. Thank God for my wife and kids. And I've been part of hip hop. I've been blessed. My career has been blessed. But for me, the big thing was I work so much at work, and to afford to live in New York and blah blah blah, to do all the shit that. It just started to become, I'm like, you know what? I got to really make sure that I produce and make the things that are important to me. Like going to work every day and working for 10, 12 hours a day is great, but is that making me happy?
Yeah, it's really not great.
Since I put that in perspective, life's become a little bit easier. Things are a little bit more, they just seem to fall in line a little better, that perspective. So,
yeah. So one thing we talked about, we're in the same industry in our day jobs. You're in construction, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, me too. And yeah, man, it sucks. Like my kids I got 5 kids, and they don't.
Congratulations!
Don't congratulate me, man. That's yeah. I got 3 girls, 2 boys. I got 3 that are grown. My oldest is 21.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I got 19 and 18. And then then I have a 14-year-old and my little guy's 7. So
you got a full construction crew, man.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, my 19-year-old son, he's debating about getting in, because I'm in the union. I'm in the dock builders union, and he's debating about getting in the apprenticeship program, but he don't want to give up the old weed right now. So whatever, man. But yeah, so it's like they don't realize like that 10, 12 hours a day, and I got to commute, and and that business is a stressful business, man. No matter what side you're on, it's pressure.
It is.
So at
deadlines,
least
time, weather, your body.
Yeah.
Other people, men, grown men from all different backgrounds. It's a crazy business.
Yeah, you got to deal with a lot of crazy characters too, man. There's some weirdos. Yeah, thank you. That's what luckily we'll see how that goes. My oldest daughter is about to become a nurse, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so
it's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
I always tell people, do something that there's a lack of, like nurses and doctors, teachers.
There's always going to be sick people.
Things like lawyers and bankers, there's too many of them. Do something that people need.
And people hate them too, like, you know.
That's another story.
Yeah, man.
I'm a project manager, and I build buildings that nobody else seems to really understand, which is old brick buildings. So that's a skill that I just happened to got blessed and I fell upon, and it's good because there's not a lot of people that know it.
Right. That actually sounds interesting. I mean, listen, I got to be honest. Like, I fucking hate my job. I've talked about it on here plenty of times. It fucking sucks. I did what I had to do. I had an opportunity to get into the union, have benefits and all that stuff. Livable wage. Although I did have to move to Pennsylvania because New Jersey is too fucking expensive. But that type of stuff. So, but like, when I was younger, I did my. You know what I'm gonna do? Maybe what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send you some of the joints I did, and I want an honest review, and I'm gonna put it at the end of this podcast. And you can hurt my feelings because it's funnier that way if you do. Honestly, like, to be honest with you, we like to laugh, so it's funny.
There's no way to judge anyone else's music, though.
Yeah.
People's music is what is it really? It's about
personal.
what it makes them feel like.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
So, but I did that, and this is my outlet now, and you got to have an outlet, man. And but how do you find time to do all that and put the work in for like so much music? You dropped a album on iTunes this year, right? Born Yesterday was not too long ago.
2017. I have 3 other albums done already, so I'm always way. I have so much music done. It's insane, that's a common thing. A lot of guys, it's like that. It's not, my thing is this. At work, when I'm at work, I'm writing. If I have a 5-minute break or 10-minute break, I'm writing. I write a song a day, an hour a day. I put in an hour a day. I go to the gym for a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
An hour, I'm writing the whole time. If I'm at the gym for a half hour, sitting on an elliptical rider, I'm writing on the elliptical.
Shit. And you find time to go to the gym?
The way to work. So,
yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I've seen some of your live videos, but like, that's listening to beats. The car is big. The car is big, especially when you have kids, because you get that time by yourself. And
correct. And again, my thing is really based on I don't want to say it's fear. I'm not fearful, but it's more. I wasted a lot of time in my life. My wife and I have been together for a long, long time, and from 1999 to 2006, we had no children, and I basically was a DJ. Like I said, my wife really didn't join me out at night. We lived in Manhattan.
Right.
DJ'd out like 2 or 3 nights a week. So I would be out DJing, which is that's great, but I wasn't making any music then. And then I'd be at home wasting time. And at one point, there was a couple opportunities that I had that I botched up, and it just hit me. Once I had my son in 2007, my son was born, Dylan, and I realized, in 2005, and I realized, I gotta this is it. It's time to start producing. So that's what it is, man. It's just it's that nonstop. I mean, I have a crazy work ethic, and my parents did too. And I think a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people don't want to go to the studio on their free time,
Right.
or they don't want to sneak it in at at 11 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. Like they want to go at night and drink or whatever it is. And that's not really what my thing is.
Mm.
So,
and you seem to have a good support system around you. So
no doubt.
That's important.
No doubt.
That's important.
I got a beautiful family, man. Thank God. I just lost my mom. That's
Oh,
another
man.
thing. I lost my mom to cancer. She got sick. 3 months later, she passed. So rest in paradise.
Yeah.
Her, but that's more like, this is a woman who was healthy, was doing, took care of all of us. She was 68. Bang, she's gone. And it was like,
that's young still, man.
What's that?
That's young still, too, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Too young, man. Too young. So,
Damn, God bless your moms, man. Sorry about that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just a wake-up call. I always thought my dad was going to go first, which is fucked up to say. But
Right.
it seems like, you get this perspective, and all of a sudden you're like, is anyone going to remember me that I was a project manager on construction sites if I die? Or people going to remember me that I, make the hip-hop that I want and
Right.
blast it out and just share my opinion. So, and you can actually change stuff with music, which is more of a reason to really, I get all these crazy fucking emails from Europe and South America and all sorts of shit, like just things that, I was at a party in 2002 and I heard your song and I remember it to this day, and you're like, damn. Like, those people remember things, and you're part of you influence them. They're stuck in their brain now, be it a good reason or a bad reason. So,
Damn, yeah. I say that same thing too all the time. Like, because construction can be dangerous, so sometimes you have near misses, and I always think about that. Like when something close happens, or you think about it, and I'm like, man, what a shitty fucking way it would be to go out here, like doing something you don't even like to do, just like fuck building. Like right now, I'm in Sayreville, New Jersey, driving steel sheeting in a shit plant. Like, man, what a fucking awful way to go. You know what I mean? Oh, where'd he die? Oh yeah, the shit plant. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, nah, serious. So, at least if I keel over doing this, and be like, oh man, that guy was talking to MC WhiteOwl at least, like.
I thought of that today, actually. I was up top on a building in the rain, wandering around.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that. You just don't, you got to be so careful, man. It's worth taking your time.
Yeah.
It really is. But, listen, then it gets back to the thing of the reason that I do all this is also because I'm a huge hip hop fan. I'm a fan first. So for me, growing up, I didn't really have, my heroes were hip hop, MCs and DJs. That's who I wanted to meet. And then, as I got older, I got a chance to meet a lot of people that I thought were stars. And then you start to realize, all right, these people are real people. A lot of them have real jobs besides what you see. And,
right.
I'm actually going to be with a guy tomorrow that's like one of my favorite hip hop artists ever. I get to meet tomorrow. I get to go to lunch with him. So I never met him before, and I cannot wait to meet him. And I gets back to the fact, like, I wouldn't meet him unless I was making music. He wouldn't want to meet me. He wants to meet me. I'm making music. We have something in common. And if he is who I think he is or he's not, at least I finally get to put that face with the name and know, this is someone growing up that I really looked up to. So
can you put his name out there? Can you say or no?
I mean, yeah, that's fine, man. Smooth B from Nice and Smooth.
Oh yeah, yo,
I wanted to meet him, man.
Smooth B. That's amazing.
Phenomenal. He's a Bronx representative, one of the best MCs ever, and he's phenomenal to this day. Like, he's that good. I just completed a song with him. And he's real, real good. I mean, he makes it seem easy.
That's dope, man. Congratulations on that. Let him know he's got love here if he ever wants to come on the podcast.
Okay, I will tell him.
Actually, I got to meet, have on my show one of my favorite MCs of all time. I don't know, you remember Mike Geronimo?
Of course, you had him on the show?
Yeah, I had him on the show last year. I believe it was The Natural, episode 19, and man, he was a cool cat. And I was that episode. I sound like I'm like a big fanboy because that album, The Natural, was my like Shit's Real is one of my favorite songs. I love Mike Geronimo, man.
Amazing song. He was I was an intern at Wild Pitch Records in 1994.
Oh, word.
He was coming out then.
Yeah. Shit's Real came out in 94.
Yeah, his manager worked at Wild Pitch. Somebody that was affiliated with his team worked at Wild Pitch. Mm-hmm. And like we were all waiting for that album to drop, or it had just dropped, and it was Nas, Mike Geronimo, Main Source. All these people were dropping at that point. That just such a different era and time, man. Just
it was great. I tell my kids all the time, like, you used to have to go and really like decide, like, yo, what am I going to spend my money on? Because there was so much dope music that was coming out, man. It was crazy.
It's a different thing. I mean, nowadays, like a lot of these kids don't actually buy any physical thing, as you know. And I took my son to a Drake and Migos concert at MSG.
Yeah, I like Drake. I gotta be honest. I think he's a talented guy. I'm not a big Migos fan, but I think Drake is a talent. He's a talented guy.
Here's what I'll say. This is my
yeah. He don't write though.
No. I don't care about any of that. He's talented. Yes, on stage he can perform. I get it. Mm-hmm. I get he has a good voice. The things that were coming out of his mouth at MSG were inappropriate. Like straight up, if he was from the era that I'm from and where I'm from, he'd be smacked the fuck up, smacked around. He would not have left there without his bodyguards. And I'm sure he doesn't leave without bodyguards. But I know who he is, and I'm aware on MSG stage, to be in Madison Square Garden and to be using the words that you're using and to be talking like that, it's reckless, man. That's reckless stuff. That's not hip hop. I mean, I understand that you are hip hop and people love you. And there's probably plenty of people that will be like, yo, what is this fucking dude saying? Listen, you don't go on a stage and use the N-word, every other word out of your mouth like that with no care about what it's affecting and who's listening with kids there. That's not right, man. That's another reason that I make hip hop. I mean, it doesn't matter that I'm a Jew from New York, but I'm from an African-American neighborhood mainly. Mm-hmm. And if I would have used the N-word when I was growing up, you wouldn't walk out of school. Like, you would be not safe, straight up. You're not safe. And that mentality that's respect, though. Like, if someone called me a kike to my face, I'd also probably punch him in the fucking throat. So, I'm not a tough guy, but at the same time, and respect growing up in New York to know that this is what, like, hip-hop, it used to be about not doing drugs, being peaceful, staying out of the way. And if someone was a drug dealer, whatever they were affiliated with, and you knew about it through hip hop, that was left though at the sidelines. And now it's the wrong message is being sent, man. It's like the corporations took over, and that's partly, why I think that what the stuff that I make and the guys that I make music with, it's important because a lot of it is about not doing that, not promoting this nonsense. Yeah, man, it's about being positive and not about this bullshit. And it's nothing personal to Drake. I don't know him, and I don't. I understand he's got a career to uphold and he has to do what he does, but just leave the N-word out. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Like, do you feel, because I understand exactly what you're saying, and I feel like over time being getting older really puts things into perspective, and you really realize just how much of an influence the music has over younger people, especially hip hop music, because hip hop music is really it's the voice of young people. Do you find that that you have a greater appreciation for that, and now that you're older?
No, man, I always understood that when I was young. Mm-hmm. I don't want to, sit here and say I'm the smartest dude in the world, but I was a smart person, and I understood from a young age that where I grew up, I was the minority, and it was there weren't a lot of Jewish people, there were not a lot of white people, and that's fine. It wasn't a problem. It was more like a fact. There's a lot of African Americans, a lot of Hispanic, some Asian, some Jewish people, but mainly most of them skipped out of the schools that I was in. So. Right. was fun and Beastie Boys was fun, but there was Melly Mel was the message, and Breaking and Beat Street, these movies, like you saw something, you said, okay, why do these people do what they do? It kind of explained some of the older people from my school to me, and then seeing the DJs that I did, which were mainly taking their routines from the Bronx, and start exploring and like seeing, some of the situations people are put in, and you realize, wait a minute, a lot of these people are talking about this because this is the way that they have to be, which is they have to be respectful of guidelines that we don't have to respect, maybe, or maybe we did. But from my school and where I'm from, it was definitely like, I think about 6th or 7th grade, it hit me like, these people are talking about stuff that I need to be aware of. And then things start happening to you. I had a couple problems when I was younger. I got bullied bad when I was in 7th and 8th grade, like bad. So I realized, like, these people that are bullying me, they're not playing by the rules of the older people that I know mainly. Like, most of them are doing illegal things, and I got that. And hip-hop was at the same time informing me. I remember Public Enemy had a bunch of songs. A lot of the songs that they were talking about, they were discussing drug dealers and the philosophy of, like, how they decide to serve up who they do and why liquor stores and drugs are in the poor neighborhoods and not in the middle-class neighborhoods. And it just starts to, it starts to dawn on you. And then my parents were pretty honest people, and I start thinking to myself, wait a minute, there's this line, and hip-hop always was the truth. It was like the news.
Yes.
And in Westchester, we had Brand Nubian. We had
I love Brand Nubian. Yeah, Pete Rocky, CL Smooth, yeah.
Yeah, those are groups that, those groups were like, they were just super influential. And we got to see them. When I was in 9th, 10th grade, you'd see these groups. And you see these groups, and you couldn't drink alcohol, and you couldn't smoke. It was clubs that were like for young people, but stuff would happen there, and you'd think to yourself, all right, this is the way that the world is. And it just, I came up in the middle class, but at the same time, I had a real good view of other people's cultures and situations that hip hop explained. And then I think around 94 and 95, I remember thinking to myself, there's like a change in the vibe in hip hop. And all of a sudden it started to become the corporate message. And then all of a sudden everybody was talking about guns and that they're a gangster. Like, it just happened overnight, man. And it never recovered. And one of the things that I never understood is how many times can people hear that story? Like, 1% or 2% of the guys that say they're gangsters are. And most of them that say that there are like some low level version of it. Like, how many guys are actually gangsters at a rap? Like, come on, man. So, and of course there's exceptions, but what happened to all these educated dudes that rhyme? And they're still there, but Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Showbiz and AG, Public Enemy, just all these groups from Long Island, from KRS-One's the king of it. I mean, the Bronx Edutainment. I mean, he was an educator and an entertainer.
Yep.
KRS-One, Rakim, all these different Poor Righteous Teachers from New Jersey.
Oh, yeah, Poor Righteous Teachers.
Of course. And there's a lane for all these people, but it just never made sense to me that people want to dumb down. But then later in life, I worked at a radio station at college. It was college radio, but still you get the point that the big corporations took control. They saw a chance to make a movie mockery kind of show of hip hop, and that's not hip hop. That's rap music, and that's genre from within hip hop that still dictates what's on the radio right now.
Right.
It's crazy, man. And you know what? The saddest part about it is, and I'll stop my rant, is my son is 13 years old. My son is 13 years old, and he lives in New York, and he knows better. But we're at the Drake concert, and he's singing along to Migos, and that these morons are talking about being coke dealers. Like, if that's who they were, they wouldn't be doing that. Like, just it's a shame.
It's all fun and games, man, until like you're 22 years old and somebody smokes you in your BMW. You know what I mean? Like, it really. I mean, we lived that through Pac and Biggie, and that happens all the time. I mean,
yeah, man,
it's crazy.
It's a sad state of affairs, man. And you know what? There's a lot of people that are profiting off that want that to be the way that it is. And that's a sad thing. But hopefully the world will wake up together at some point.
that's some knowledge right there, man. I agree wholeheartedly. I really do.
Like, not really.
I agree,
it,
man.
Okay. I mean, I'm repeating what I know. I mean,
yeah, no, I listen, man. I agree. I agree. I can't even really stress it anymore. I feel like I'm talking to myself a little bit there because like I've said it. I've preached it to my kids and stuff like that too. My son is a big hip hop fan. Luckily, I raised him right. Like he was talking to his friends about something about Nas being better than one of these new rappers, and the kid was like, "Oh no, so and so's better," and my son was like, "No, he's not.
No, he's not."
And I was a proud dad right there. I know I did something right.
There you go.
So
I understand.
Are you down with like the Ill Rock guys and stuff?
I don't know who that is.
Nah, I thought I seen maybe the you never heard of Ill Rock
There's another White Owl. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a different White Owl, and that White Owl's had the name for the same amount of time that I have. There's you know what? There's 4 White Owls that I know. So there's the White Owl that passed away that was DJ White Owl. There's the White Owl that you're talking about that I believe has had the name for the same amount of time. And if I'm not mistaken, has the same name as me too, which is even more crazy.
Really?
He has the same real name, and that's a coincidence, of course.
That's crazy.
Then there's another DJ White Owl, but the White Owl you're talking about has been around for a long, long time, and I actually met him once too. But I didn't realize that was the name of that camp. But now that does ring a bell.
Sound familiar? Yeah, a dude that I grew up with, he does some production for them and stuff, and I remember seeing. Keep in touch with him and stuff. Seeing something on like Facebook or something. They were at a concert and but the video was awful, and it was White Owl was there, and that just reminded me, so that's why I asked.
No, it wasn't me.
It was in Jersey too. Is it? So I was gonna say, yo, man, I didn't know if you did shows in Jersey and stuff.
I mean, of course, but that White Owl has had a couple hit songs, I believe. But he's an MC though, not a DJ, and he might have been a DJ at one point. But he called himself DJ White Owl also, which is there's a lot of weird coincidences, man. One of my friends from Queens is a good MC and knew him and respected him and was like, you're not going to believe it. There's another White Owl who also is like got a shaved head about your height.
Right.
Kind of sounds like you.
Yeah.
And that was years after the other White Owl thing. So it was like at that point I'm like, nah, there's no way. And then about a year later I met him and I'm like, I cannot believe this. And then you know what? There is a White Owl from Chicago. You're right. That's another thing.
Yeah, it is.
Because on Facebook, somebody was trying to find me once and was like, I'm very upset with what you did. And I'm like, all right, what I do? And they're like, you know what you did, whatever, in Chicago. And I'm like, all right, it's not me. I have no tattoos, so I'm tatless. So that's not me. But yeah, man. It's a lot of people with the same name.
A lot of White Owls. That's hey, you know what? That sometimes that makes for a good party, depending on what you're into. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what it is good. Exactly. It's good for it's good for stories. It's good for the story purpose of it. So you know what? Ill Rock's got some really good acts. That they've got that act. They got some dope acts. I know who they are, of course.
Script Keeper.
Using it with another. What's that? Script
Keeper, I think, is one of the dudes. They got Danny Diablo.
Yeah, Danny Diablo is the dude that I'm thinking of. He's like a hardcore legend from New York. I mean, he's a big strip. Yeah, and White Owl was his partner at one point. So I'm aware. I don't know the music. I've heard a couple of the joints, but I'm well aware in a good way.
Yeah, they're all right. They're a little on the hard side from my taste. But yeah, that's why I was asking. Like I said, it clicked in my head, and then I was asking. So let me ask you this: what? So how far back you go with Jeff Pearlman? And let's talk about this "Football for a Buck" song. That's dope. I love it.
I met Pearlman in. I think I met Jeff Pearlman in about 2008 or 2009 at my brother-in-law's house. And he was talking to me. My brother-in-law introduced him as a writer, and he started talking to me about hip hop. We had a bunch in common, and I read the Mets book, and I couldn't believe how great that book is, man. As a fan of the 86 Mets, that book, he had amazing stories. And he's a good storyteller. When you meet him and you talk to him, you know, you get a real, like, truthful feel for what it's like to actually research all that stuff. Right. To understand what it must be like to, I mean, he puts in hours and hours.
I can't even imagine, man. I can't.
His process is wild, man.
You're right.
So yeah, that's how I ended up talking to him about hip hop a lot. But I'm not really a sports fan. I'm a Mets and a Yankees fan, and I'm a Giants fan. But I'm really a New York Giants fan. I don't really care much about anything. But just to understand what he does for research, and he's like that about music too. So that's how he and I hit it off. And then from there, he was like, you know, can you, the first song I did for him was a Walter Payton song for his Walter Payton book.
Oh, I never heard that one. I did not know that you did a Walter Payton song. I gotta check that out. Damn.
I'll send you all the albums, man. So matter of fact, he was like one of the first people. I had been working with the producer at that point, but I wasn't really taking it seriously. And Jeff said to me, hey, make me a Walter Payton song. And I made it. And I said, you know what? It came off easy and it felt good. I'm like, you know what? Let me get back in the studio. And from that, he helped wake me up a little bit. That was a good turning point for me in about 2009 or 2010, something like that. Matter of fact, I got the book. Let's see. I believe the book is right here. There it is. Yeah. Here's his shelf.
Sweetness.
Right. Yeah,
nice.
Sweetness. Boys Will Be Boys.
Yep.
Rocket That Fell to Earth.
Yeah, I didn't read that. I didn't read that one.
There's a good book if you need a recommendation.
Really?
That's a great book, man. I don't know if you know anything about that. But,
I don't. What's that all about? I'm gonna have to check that out. It sounds like some.
That's a great book too, man. You ever see that?
No.
Can't
Wow.
Stop, Won't Stop.
Yeah, that looks. That's definitely something I would read. Yeah, that's definitely something I would check
history
out.
Of hip hop. History of hip hop through the I don't know. It's like a year by year breakdown of everything. But this is my little storage thing, man. I got a Beefeater from London came through because I made a song for them.
Yep.
I got a bottle. I won't crack it open though.
That's awesome, man.
What else? I got all the records in here.
Yep, I see. Yeah, I seen a baseball card box on the shelf there.
Yeah. Oh man, I got so many baseball cards, man.
Yep. Yeah, me too. As a kid, I remember all those. Damn.
That works, man. That works. That's what the White Owls are for.
That's it.
But,
yo, you need 4 White Owls for that.
Yeah, no doubt. No, you need more than that. How about this, man? You remember these guys?
Nah, man. What are?
Those are Muscle Men. That was like the collectible.
I don't remember them, man. I was into like G.I. Joes and shit, man.
Okay, yeah. I'm a G.I. Joe fan, no doubt. Those are like little warriors, like warrior muscles. Mm-hmm. This is a great album right there, man. I'm going to send it to you. Rhinoceros Funk, The Aesthetic Art of Aggression.
I'll have to check that out.
This is this dude, White Ninja, who paints on all the trains. Shit. I don't know, man.
Speaking of which, man, I gotta get me one of them White Owl stickers, man. That I see posted everywhere. You, all right, yo, I got stickers too. I don't know where they went, but I got stickers and I got T-shirts. So I'm gonna get that to you.
Sounds good. So this is USFL book.
Yeah.
From the T-shirts based on the teams. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, I'm not a Trump fan. No offense, to anybody. I'm
me neither. Politics. Nah, fuck that. Fuck Trump. I say that shit all the time. I hate that fucking asshole.
I mean, I'm not a fan, man. So basically, USFL was ruined by Trump, mm-hmm. And that's the book is not really about Trump, but the book talks about how the USFL almost could have made it, and how a lot of the guys from the USFL made it into the NFL. And yeah, Pearlman blessed me, gave me the opportunity to make that song, that song took off on its own, and it got
that song is dope. That beat is dope too, man. It really is. Like
the beat was made by a guy named The Illustrated One.
Mm-hmm.
The Illustrated One on Instagram, and yeah, he did a good job with the beat. And the beat just basically, I heard the beat, and the song just made that
made
was an easy one.
Yeah, that's
a lot of good wordplay in there.
You worked with you did some work on with Static Selector too, right?
Yes, he's unbelievable, man. He's an unbelievable producer.
He's amazing. I like him a lot. He's one of my favorites.
He's an amazing DJ, man. He's one of those guys that you basically ask him to do something, one take, he's done. He's just phenomenal. He's a student of DJ Premier, and he is just. I mean, he talk about productive. Like this dude, he must have a lot of hits in his banks. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And he has a weekly radio show. Just super productive dude. Total blessing to work with him. So, what else, man? What else can I tell you?
All right, so here we go. I want to ask you this, right? I want to ask you a couple things real quick. So, how do you feel about the hip hop battle? Do you get excited when you see cats go at each other, or because I feel kind of torn about it, because this is one thing that I always said. I brought this up to Mike Geronimo when I talked to him, is that I feel like there's a part of me that likes it, but there's also this part of me that wonders, like, why is hip hop the only form of art where we have to pit the artists against each other? You know what I mean? There's no, you don't see, like, Billy Joel and Elton John are collaborating. They're not battling each other on the pianos. You know what I'm saying? Like, that always bothered me, man. I think that speaks to like bigger things, but
that it doesn't bother me at all. I understand, it's about party rock, and it used to be two dudes were in a party, one sound system, and that stems back from like battles of sound systems.
At the street lamps.
The original DJ, Cool Herc came from Jamaica. He was a Jamaican DJ. He came from Jamaica. He sets up. He starts playing breakbeats, and then Flash or Bambaataa or whoever it is wants to do it different with different records. That Bronx tradition of battling doesn't. I mean, I love it, of course, but my thing is, it's not that I'm a fan of it, but I'm old school. I like a battle is like Craig G versus Supernatural, or Biz Markie versus whoever, or Shan versus KRS-One. To me, KRS-One is the best MC live, and all his records combined, he's the best MC ever. Rakim's the best writer. I don't know anybody who could write an album like Rakim, and I don't think there will ever be anything like that again. It changed everything. Like, hip hop was one way, and then Rakim came, and it all changed.
And it holds up.
Big Daddy Kane. What's that? And
his stuff holds up too, man. His lyrics
hold
up.
It's timeless music, but
yeah.
So the golden age is like over, and it doesn't bother me that guys want to battle. I get it, but the whole like practicing in advance for 2 weeks and writing, lines about someone's mom and like integrating stuff about their school history and doing research. All right, I sort of get it. I don't want to take anything away from it. It's certainly a skill, and it just doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm coming from the old school mentality of, my thing when I was young was, how can I put something on a record so that if someone hears it again and again, they're going to want to know more about it? How can I write so that if you hear it 15 times over, the 16th time you're going to hear something that you didn't know? In my songs, I know there's things that mean 2, 3, there's double, triple entendres, stuff that if you don't speak English well, or if you don't have a dictionary, you're not going to get it. So, and then I'm working with people, on that level where there's a song there's a guy from camp that I work with. It's TME. And there's a song by a guy named Akbar. And the song is called MC Search. I'm going to send it to you. You listen to how this guy put together, this guy Akbar, this MC Akbar, he is amazing. And he's a Chicago legend. I mean, he's been around since the late 80s. He's a graffiti writer and a MC, and he's well known in hip hop. Everybody knows him, but he came out last year with a song called MC Search, and they put it on Sway in the Morning had it on, and it did well. But to know that somebody could put together words in this format, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it must have taken months and months. And this is my friend, so I know him, and when I talk to him about it, I try to pick his brain about it, but I know that you just have to be so in-depth to get to that level. And that's how, those are the people that I'm trying to work with, and that's the type of music I'm trying to make. We're trying to find samples and dig for sounds and put words in there that later on you're going to sound too much. It's not, they're not going to really, and that's also, maybe, and that's, okay, let me go one step at a time. Like that's, right. There's people that say to me, for a hip hop purist, you just basically making nerd rap, or you're making like musical niche rap that's like but that's what powers me. That's what makes me want to do it. It's like I'm trying to pay homage to the degree that's where it should be. Like it doesn't matter if the radio is not going to respond to that. I have a song about bank credit, and it lists all the different banks, and it's all like, if you listen to what I'm saying, all the bank names, there's like 25 banks that I name. So the song goes, account summary, credit in disarray. Discover that my master has revolving bills to pay. Live within your means, I was trying to teach my son. Once we tied it all together, in the city banking, FICO score tanking, Chase preferred credit to fly to friendly skies top ranking. Sun Trust, Bank of America, Pops say all the same. Debit into credit, swipe and dip, you play the game. Chips ingrained in plastic in your pocket. You earned a bunch of bonus miles. First, it's hard to knock it. Then the travel dates is blacked out. Couldn't fly without that visa. I'm in a Diners Club with Amex, earning bonus points at leisure. Like, you gotta know,
right? You
gotta know that Visa is a Visa card, and also the Visa
Diners Club. Yeah, motherfuckers. If you're under 35, you don't remember Diners Club. You don't know nothing about that. Right. No, that's all right. So all right. So,
that's you get my point. It's like,
yes,
there's levels and levels to this, and that's what, like, listen, like Big L and AG, Showbiz and AG, Andre the Giant of Digging into Crates.
Yep,
and
DITC.
Of course, Big Pun, rest in peace, Rest Miguel. Of course, Biggie. You listen to a Biggie song, years later, you might hear something and say, "Oh my God, he was talking about like three things at once." Like I heard a Biggie song the other day where I'm like, I can't believe all these years.
Never caught
I didn't
that.
Realize. I took it for face value, what he was saying, and then I realized there's puns in there. It's like so intricate and layered, and it takes so long to write all that. And that's why, it's almost like a disease. Like, you're going to be writing in your sleep. You're going to wake up with a pen and a pad and get out of bed. Like, this happens to me once a month. I get out of bed and wake myself up. And I write something down because I wrote it in my sleep. And now I got to go and transcribe it or I'll forget it. So it's that mentality, man. It's living and breathing it.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you two more things before.
And no, I don't. Yes, I like battle rap, but no, I don't really care about it enough, man.
Right. Okay. So first, I'm gonna ask you this. Now, this is just a generic question, but because you're so in tune with hip hop and its history and stuff, I really want to know this. So, if you have 5 albums, that's it. You can only listen to 5 hip hop albums, not including your own music, for the rest of your life, and that's it.
That's hard, man.
Yeah.
Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim follow the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back.
Mm-hmm.
Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick.
That's a good one, yeah.
2 more. Nice and Smooth. Mm-hmm. That's their original album.
Yep.
And last one would be, A Tribe Called Quest, The Low End Theory.
Let's see. All right, I'm gonna give you mine because that's funny because a lot of people. So my Tribe Called Quest album is Midnight Marauders. I like the Low End Theory too, but something about Midnight Marauders. I feel all right. So I got Midnight Marauders, Reasonable Doubt.
Great album.
Illmatic.
Oh, of course, I forgot Illmatic. True. That's a great album, man.
Yeah. I gotta throw in the very first album that I ever bought with my own money from my man Big Daddy Kane. It's a Big Daddy thing.
Phenomenal.
I love that album. And then this is Philadelphia Half-Life by The Roots.
Yeah, they're amazing, man. That's an amazing group.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Lou Capetta. As you can see, we ran into a few technical difficulties there. I was speaking to MC WhiteOwl for so long that his phone actually died. Now, we recorded this early December, a little after Thanksgiving, and we tried to reconnect to finish up the episode, which was about to wrap up anyway. We just couldn't make it happen. It was a busy time. So if you listen to the beginning of the show, you know that rather than opening with my regular theme music, I opened with an MC WhiteOwl song. The song is called Deep Shadows Master. It's by MC WhiteOwl. So rather than, keep this on hold for a while and try to make it work where we can finish the show, MC WhiteOwl gave me permission to use another one of his songs. We are going to close out the show with a song I really like. It was a promotional song that we talked about that he did for Jeff Pearlman's new book called Football for a Buck. The book is great. The song is great. It's short, so listen to it. Check it out. And once again, everybody, thanks for listening, and peace.
Everything that we touched in this city has, in fact, really worked out, and outside of the city has really worked out, and against big odds.
USFL, football for a buck. Just another dream Donald Trump screwed up. The United States Football League. Drugs, egos, money, greed, the truth. Why Trump hates the NFL. He's a racist and a bigot and his tickets wouldn't sell. A POTUS that can't even spell. A story so absurd, that's the USFL. Dear Donald Trump, you filthy leech. How many lies you gonna tell before they impeach? Let me interject a bit. I don't want you to forget the tears, the fears, the blood, the sweat. A league full of winners remembered for lack of liquidity. When in reality, it was all your stupidity. A bunch of misfits, this fits perfectly well. Herschel Walker, Doug Flutie, and some names ring a bell. And markets that might sell. Battle the NFL. 83 to 85, it didn't end so well. 40 million reasons. It was over in 3 seasons. A young Steve Young. NFL had the legions. Before the comb over. Before the Trump Towers. Before Stormy Daniels. Before the golden showers. Countless hours wasted. Success never tasted. Spring fling football. And Pearlman went and traced it. USFL. Football for a buck. Just another dream Donald Trump screwed up. The United States Football League. Drugs, egos, money, greed, the truth. Why Trump hates the NFL. He's a racist and a bigot and his tickets wouldn't sell. A POTUS that can't even spell. A story so absurd, that's the USFL. The drugs, the sex, the hookers, the bars, the players that became NFL stars. The invaders, the breakers, the generals, the blitz. A league rewarded grown men with working chicks. Chicago for Arizona. What a crazy scheme, Arizona for Chicago. Yes, the whole team stiffing players out of money, including Reggie White. Players puking on coaches, even in mid-flight through the NFL. Donnie, you schmuck. WhiteOwl with Jeff Pearlman. Football for a buck. David Dixon, Chet Simmons, Bobby Hebert, Anthony Carter, Doug Williams, Brian Sight, Gary Anderson, Vaughn Johnson. They traded a whole team for